So we've heard some great presentations this morning, quite interesting presentations, different perspectives. And the theme of kind of qualitative and quantitative working together has been quite strong. And it's absolutely true. And I think we need to do a lot more of that. So what I want to talk to you about today is automation. So we're kind of living in a time of sort of unprecedented automation. It's everywhere, and pretty much in everything that we do, right? We've got vacuum cleaners that clean our homes or at work, lawnmowers that cut our grass, keep it, the right height, rockets that land themselves, space rockets, cars that drive themselves, and email notification systems that keep us notified. We truly are living in a very, very interesting time. And I think the point to sort of note is this relationship between experience and automation. So this presentation is going to be about three themes. One, what is automation? I'll go a little bit deeper into what automation is. Then I want to explore in a little bit more detail what the relationship between experience and automation is. And then we'll look at how we can actually design for automation. And I'll kind of share with you some of the things that I use from my toolkit to do this kind of work. So first thing to say is, sorry folks, automation is here whether you like it or not. It is happening right now on unprecedented levels. But what is automation? I like this definition by Andre Oppenheimer, the process by which jobs are performed automatically without the need for human labor by robots, software, and technology. It's really important that we understand what is automation. Because we could talk about it and say, oh, yeah, we get it. Let's get some sense of what this means. And automation is different to artificial intelligence. Automation may have or be integrated, use artificial intelligence, but they're not the same thing. Automation is about the reduction of human intervention in tasks. You could say tasks that would be considered repetitive, things that machine is very good at, tasks that we might consider as human beings monotonous. So automation helps us take the robot out of the human. AI, on the other hand, is about how we can simulate or emulate human cognition. One of the aspects of human cognition is intelligence. They're different. These are different things. Let's look at some examples. The ATM. This put a lot of people out of jobs. Speakers that we can talk to. This actually in itself is arguably one of the greatest breakthroughs in machine learning. That we can actually talk with a machine and it can respond back in a way that we consider intelligent. Specifically, the level of prediction, natural language processing to be able to have conversation is very high. This only happened this decade. Very recent. To chat systems that we talk with. And I like this particular image here. Would you like to be transferred to a live agent? A live agent, as in alive. Something that the machine is absolutely not. To technology that kind of keeps us informed about our health, right? on our body, wearable technology, not just in our pocket, on our body. To curated music systems that are based on what we like, what we listen to, what we prefer. And everyone knows you never mess with someone's algorithm when it comes to this stuff, right? It's terrible. Young children really mess your algorithm up. Those without children, prepare now, okay? Have a backup. To robots. Cognito ergo sum. It's so cliche, isn't it, this picture? Because this is what robots are like, yeah? I think, therefore I am. Really? Whereas this is the greatest use of robots, cybernetic technology right now. This is where the most advanced, this is where the most money is happening in automation. Soon to be all factories everywhere. But we also have machines that actually operate on our eyes more accurately than a surgeon, more efficiently than a surgeon. To technology that can drive us places. And we also have technology, amazing technology that visits places that we have yet to go, yet to explore. To robot lover, or you could say robots with benefits, yeah? I'm going to move on. But it's really important that we get a sense of history in terms of how we come to get to this period that I refer to as the kind of connected everything. And Michael Crichton kind of famously said that if you don't know history, you don't know anything. You're essentially a leaf that doesn't know it's part of a tree. History, understanding specifically how we got to where we are now, will help us become a better designer, to understand how to design better experience. We're going to have a little history lesson. This is The 4 Ages of Mankind. Great book, highly recommend you read it. So, 100,000 years ago, two amazing things happened. Many amazing things happened, but specifically through the lens of technology, I want to be specific. One, we developed language. What does that mean? That means that what is in here, we could share with everyone else. That is unique in our species. I'm not talking about communication, this comes much later. I'm talking language, and we express language not just with our words, but through our art and the artifacts that we make, the way we dress, etc., etc. And then fire. Fire was really important, specifically because fire allowed us to eat foods that we couldn't eat before. We could eat more complex proteins. We could break down cellulose type foods, so therefore get at the carbohydrate that we couldn't eat before. What is the implication of this? The implication of this is this fundamentally changed our brain. Our brain, before fire, was pretty much the same as chimpanzee or great apes. When we started eating a massive range of food, i.e. our calorific intake went up, our brains changed. Our neocortex is thickened. You go forward 90,000 years to 10,000 years ago, and we start to literally structure the land so that we can farm it. We then started to live in cities. Megacities started to emerge. You go forward to 5,000 years ago, and we started writing. We invented money, and probably scarcity with it at the same time. And the wheel. So some real big things happen. And then we get to the 4th age of mankind. And the 4th age of mankind, this is right now, is dominated by a technology we call the computer. Okay, this is the age that we're living in. And the computer, as we know, is one of the greatest examples of automation that is happening right now. The range of things it allows us to do, the scale of things it allows us to do, this is because of the computer. But to understand this kind of time we're in now, we also have to understand it in terms of what is the industrial revolution that's happening, because we're in the fourth industrial revolution. The first industrial revolution was really all about steam and railways. Okay? That pretty much changed how we move around and what we could transport at scale. We then move forward to a period in the second revolution, right? Industrial revolution, where we think about assembly lines. Think the model Ford, yeah? Which he actually got the idea from looking at how people made meat. That's how clever this guy was. And electrification. So we started to electrify everything. So then we see the telegram, we see all these, the telephone, these sorts of mass communication happening. We go forward to late 40s, we see the computer, followed by the internet. Then, now, this fourth industrial revolution that we're living in, we see cognitive computing and smart technology. So what does that mean? It means that the way that we think about biology, the way that we think about energy, the way that we think about science is massively evolving. Our understanding based on this super blending that's going on, this great restructuring of how we think about everything is changing everything that we know. Let me give you an example. In 2010, in the University of Manchester, scientists invented a nanotechnology called graphene. What is important about this technology? It's harder than diamond, more flexible than rubber, stronger than steel, lighter than titanium, and the most conductive property we know of in existence now. We invented that 9 years ago. People were observing it through electron microscopes in 1962, but this is where we are. Technology is allowing us to understand science, and specifically biology, and how we interact in ways that are unprecedented. So this is where we are. Where could we go? I love this show, The Expanse, for so many reasons. And I'm going to show you a clip that I think is arguably one of the greatest examples of machine learning, like high-end machine learning. Watch.
You know I'm an engineer. Show me drive diagnostics and core levels. Life support.
What's going on?
Oh, I don't know. Ask the ship. It seems to know everything.
Naomi Nagata's a genius engineer. Her character, she's a genius. Literally, like the stuff she solves, breathtaking genius. She walks up, she's on a ship, she walks up to a screen, and it presents to her engineering data, information, visualization. She didn't ask, it does it. Straight away. That's machine learning. That's what it's meant to do. That's where I think we'll end up. And the reason I like this show is because it incorporates science. Just imagine a world where you don't have to touch, swipe, but it is, and we just say. It's almost like conversation, right? It's almost like how we interact with people, yeah? So automation is complicated, but helping us do a lot of cool stuff. So what does it mean about, so how do you design this stuff, right? How do we think about automation? Well, the first thing we have to understand is that great automation absolutely requires, and this is, in my opinion, unequivocally true, great experience designing. The quality of the automation will literally be dictated by the quality of the experience. And the quality of an experience will be dictated by the capability to deliver and design that experience. Unfortunately, experience does not come in a spray can. Why am I sharing? It slightly irritates me that I'm still saying this today, in 2019. I was speaking with one of my colleagues the other day. He's very clever, brilliant designer, creative director, in fact. And so, with a client, we're talking about stuff, and they're going through like how we're designing the experience. And it's like, yeah. And then he said, they bring someone in and they say, but when we're going to get to the experience, look, here are these wireframes. I said, what did you say? And he's like, well, I was polite. And I said, well, it's all the experience. Of course it's all the experience. You can't just spray something on and go, hey, we've done the experience bit. I mean, just imagine, right? You got a car, you like your car, and you spray it a different color, and you think that it will go faster, or give you greater miles per gallon, or feel more comfortable. I mean, you might. There's a perceptual thing there. You go, yeah, I will tell myself that blue is faster than red. I will do it. No, wrong. Experience does not come in a spray can. This is one of the ways that we need to, this is how you resist this idea of the go faster company. That experience is a qualitative thing, as we've heard in all three presentations. It's something that we have to bake in, design in, fundamental. This is how we humanize. And I see it as a sort of act of transformation. And basically, it works like this. Digital transformation, which is a strategy, and we know it's a strategy, because if we take away the word digital, then we have the second part of what is like 101 in strategy, configuration, transformation. So I haven't looked into the history of this phrase, but there'll be some smart management consultant that went, yeah, it's transformation. We'll call it digital transformation. Therefore, it's strategic. And they're right, it is. That's how we know it's a strategy. The problem with it is that technology by itself doesn't deliver great experience. That is impossible. It needs to be designed, yeah? What type of design does it need? It needs experience design. And that is how you deliver this thing that we need, this experience transformation that's going to make sure that we design the right type of automation that is necessary and humane. And I think of this as a kind of a golden thread, okay? Connecting all of these bits together. There are many details, as we've heard, many details. Too many details, in fact. But that's okay. We have to make sure that we are designing the details better. Design's a team sport, so it's cool. So experience and automation. One of the ways that I kind of think about it, when I'm studying technologies and I'm reviewing technologies, or I'm studying processes and I'm thinking about how are we going to design this to be better, okay? I kind of go, right, you've got automation, and then you've got experience. And they need to go hand in hand, okay? And the bit where they meet, I think of now as the kind of missing middle. This, again, comes from a book. I like books. It's really good book. And in the book, okay, human and machine, it's got this model. Okay, this is the. I'm not going to bore you with the model, and I couldn't bore you with the model. It would be another presentation. The point being is that there are capabilities that humans have to lead, to empathize, to judge. And there are things that machines are awesome at: transactional, iteration, prediction. Okay, when they come together, this is how we have superpower. Let me give you an example. Today, a machine is better at detecting breast cancer than the world's top expert. Okay, they can do it with a higher level of accuracy, prediction. However, what is really interesting is an expert and the machine can do it better than any other human and any other machine. This is the power of automation. This book's really good because it gives you loads of examples and ways of thinking about this stuff. We've got this model because at the heart of great experience is great capability, right? And it's kind of, as you move around, we've got these dimensions. And it kind of, I've put something in your bags. This, just so you know. This is in your bag. It's in your bag because what I've done is I've opened up not only some of my toolkit, but some of the technologies that we use. This is a free thing that you can just use and see how good your actual experience is, right? Free. Oh, and I've written a white paper about this model as well, which is going to come out in the next couple of days. So I will explain how it works and how we use it with clients and stuff. Free to those that can afford it, very expensive to those that can't. This is a really great example of how automation works. This watch, this technology. So right now, the research that they did, the way that the level of science that's gone into this technology now is unbelievable. In the future, what we're going to have is a situation where the data here, or the data you have, your personal data, could be shared with a doctor, or it could be shared with the hospital in the moment. So what we're talking about is moving from an idea of, say, where we've got a smart device to where we have a smart system, like the ship on the Expanse. It's not, the machine is not just the user interface, it's all of it. However, the need for human touch, what makes us uniquely human, is absolutely necessary. To build on the very, very, very smart work of Kai-Fu Lee is something that I believe 100% in. In the future, what we'll have, and this is unfortunate, but it's just the way the world is, people will probably pay more to have a human doctor, to be told their information by a human nurse. This is probably the way that it will be. That the human touch will still remain. And don't worry about all the job losses, because we'll be fixing robots as well and designing them to be better, so it's not that bad. There will be new jobs. So how do you do it? So it's kind of like automation is important, and we've got the link that to design great automation, you need to be really very good, uber in fact, at experience design, in my humble opinion. So how do you do it? So I've adapted a canvas, okay, from another book by 3 economists called Prediction Machines. Economists are now really starting to get into machine learning. They love data, okay, love it. And they're really like mathematicians with a different name. The way it works, and I was speaking with Jonathan about this, our amazing compere for the day. It's very, if you come from a kind of human-computer interaction background, this will make sense to you. But the economic perspective is around jobs. So workflow, the journey by which you design something, yeah? And then you've got the tasks, the things that actually make up that journey. And then you've got the decisions that sit within that journey. And then you've got the actual job. And that's quite interesting, okay? Because the point being is that the workflow, the tasks, and the decisions are all experiential, abstract things. The jobs bit is the concrete thing. So the bit you'll design, so this is the bit about when I say the shiny stuff, yeah? We're not just designing the bit we touch or we interact with. We're designing all of it. This is how we ensure great automation. You can't just do the job bit. You're not really going to make it that much better. Here's an example of worked. Traditional taxi workflow. Phone a taxi company. Agree a location, agree destination, share details, wait for taxi, journey in taxi, pay. It's a lot of tasks. When you start to break it down, there's a lot of tasks, right? And you could probably break it down more. I could break it down and talk about secondary tasks, not a problem. And then look at the decisions that need to go with it. You see that it's not just getting a cab right, like it's complex process. Uber. Look what they've done. Look how they've reduced the tasks. Look how they've reduced the decisions. When you see it in this way, you realize this level of design, because we go, yeah, Uber, it's an app. It's an app company. It does... No. What they've fundamentally done is ushered in a level of automation that is unprecedented in our species. And now, I say to clients, we need to do something. What do you think the automation thing would be like? I used to do this about, I used to do the same thing with Amazon, when people used to ask me about e-commerce. I said, well, we copy Uber, right? Yeah, but we want it to be unique. I'm like, okay, it's cool. We'll make it uniquely your brand, but we're going to copy Uber because that's what you do, okay? It's like, you know, sometimes innovation is the ultimate enemy of the good. Imitation often is a superior method to innovation. To copy and copy well is powerful. Essentially, what they've done is they've condensed the workflow by collapsing tasks, they've reduced decisions, and they've simplified the actual job itself. It's quite interesting, yeah? And do you know how they sell that value? They package all that up into a proposition that they sell called convenience. And we pay a lot for convenience. You could say that convenience is a fundamental characteristic of automation, right? The quality of convenience will be dictated by the quality of design and the quality of experience. Kind of scales up. So hopefully today I'll give you a little bit to think about in terms of automation and what it means and how I see automation as this kind of connected everything. I've give you, hopefully, I've made the argument for experience and automation working together and how important that they are. You can't have one without the other. And I've given you a tool that you can copy, okay? And I'm probably going to write a piece about this presentation, probably the next week. And I'm also just finishing off another white paper where I'll give 4 or 5 examples of how unicorns have applied automation to completely disrupt the world. So, you know, there's more coming that will kind of explain it in more detail. I hope you enjoyed that.